Welcome to Thoughts Roundup. Thank you for being with me today. I remember a man, his name was S.L. Wise. He was a crippled man. He was an intelligent man. And he was a preacher. In fact, he was the first district superintendent that I remember. And he was over the state of Louisiana. And everyone had respect for Brother Wise. Well, later on, I went to pastor the church that he was pastor of. I'll tell you, I didn't feel worthy. Of course, it had been many, many years since Brother Wise was superintendent. And of course, he was already gone home to glory. But I want to tell you a story that he told us one day. I can remember it so plain. We were in a conference, and he's told us about, he used to be a sawyer. That was the man that set the saw at the sawmill to make, if he wanted a 2x4, he set it that that width, and so forth. And if he wanted a 2x6, 2x8, he set the saw, and it had to be right on target. You had to know what you was doing. So, of course, it was way back in probably Depression times. And he said he told the man that owned the sawmill, he said, I've got to have 50 cents more a day. 50 cents more a day. And he knew he was the only one that could run the saw. The man said, "Sir, I'm sorry I can't give you a 50-cent raise." He said, "Well, I'll have to quit if you don't." He said, "Well, you'll just have to quit because I cannot afford to give you a 50-cent a day raise." That was 4 bits. And so he said, "Well, I'm quitting." And he quit at dinner time. Instead of going home, he went down in the woods and waited, because you could hear the saw when it hit that timber. You could hear that saw making all that loud noise. And he waited to see at 1 o'clock what was going to happen. He just knew that nothing was going to happen. But when his watch struck 1, that blade went into that wood, and you could hear it way down in the woods where he was. He said, "I slipped back up in through the woods to where I could see the sawmill," and he said there was a 15-year-old boy sitting there setting the saw. He said, "Folks, that was the day that I realized that I was not indispensable. That was the day that I realized somebody could take my place if I decided not to do my job." Well, we need to realize that now, folks. God's called us, and we got our job in church. We have our job in church. And for the church, we need not get to the place that we think we're indispensable. God always has someone else that can step in my place. But now I don't want anybody to do that. I want to do what I'm supposed to do for the Lord. Okay? Might even be a 15-year-old boy or girl. Brother Steele, what about that? They tell me Brother Steele's 100 years old and he listens to my program. Brother Steele, what about that? I'm sure you found that to be the truth. That none of us are indispensable. God bless you.